Hello everybody, welcome to Lorado Talks where you get to manifest with me, Lee, and as usual, I get to share my manifestation tips with you according to my experience. My topic for today is how to create affirmations that actually work for you. So these are, I'm going to be sharing with you my favorite affirmations, okay, and how I created them. I was in a long distance situation when I was manifesting my SP. He was here, and then 3 months later he left, and then 8 months later he was back again. So yeah, I managed to manifest him back. But during my journey of manifesting my SP, I obviously went through a lot of stuff, techniques, methods, up until I bumped into the law of assumption, and then I realized what the law of assumption did. All of them do work. Law of attraction, law of assumption, they all work. But I found my niche with the law of assumption because that's where I sort of understood what affirming was. You know, my personality is that of, I'm a talker. You know, I love to affirm things. My love language is to talk. So I love affirming things. Words of affirmation are something that I hold dear to my heart. It resonates with my personality. So more than what I can say imagining, but I also like imagining as well. But I love affirming more than anything. Affirming and scripting are my favorites, but affirmations are like number one. Like literally just saying them out loud or just replaying them in my mind. I love that. So I had to get to a point where, you know what, there were certain blanket or my go-to affirmations, not necessarily blanket affirmations, but my go-to affirmations. There were so many affirmations that I have created. Some I got from other people that I listened to on YouTube, but I had to get to a point where, you know what, I have to have my own affirmations that work for me. And I realized that the only way that you can create affirmations that are your custom affirmations for you and your situation specifically is really sitting down and thinking about, you know, your situation, analyzing it, you know, ripping it apart and looking at it from, you know, a 3D lens first. Like, what is it about the situation that you don't like? I had to sit down and be like, okay, I don't like the fact that my SP is far from me. That's the first thing, okay? This distance is something that I don't want. So my SP suddenly left and went to work in another city that was like 4 hours away from me. And I was like, that was stressing me the most. So I sat down, I'm like, I don't like the fact that my SP is far. So I started writing down things I didn't like first before I created affirmations. That's the first thing that I wrote down. And then afterwards, the second thing that I noted down was that my SP does not communicate often with me. I don't like the fact that he doesn't like communicating. He really is lazy when it comes to communication. I had to write that down, right? So those were the two things that I felt bugged me the most. So I had to find affirmations that, I had to create affirmations that from the negative story about my situation, I had to create affirmations that implied that now things have changed and they are favorable for me. And alongside with those affirmations for my SP and our relationship, I had to create affirmations for me as well, my self-concept. As you guys know, I think my previous video, I talked about how self-concept was important for me and all of that, right? But I had my go-to affirmations for self-concept because I looked at what really bothered me about self. What did I feel the most insecure about when it comes to myself? You know, was it that I felt like my partner would easily cheat on me? I had fears about cheating. I had fears about being replaced, you know, and I really did not feel like I deserve to be loved or that I'm worthy of being loved. So those were the things that bugged me the most. So as much as I would want to affirm for my SP, I had to also affirm for myself, but I had to create affirmations, and I had to create them from the negative story. So you do have to sit down and really think about the reality of your situation, right? So with the first affirmation, which is I don't like the fact that my partner is living far from me, I now had to create an affirmation that implied that he is now here. So I wrote it down here. I said, in order to replace the old story, right, with the new story, which would be the new affirmation that implied my SP and I are always together, right? So those were, what I like about that affirmation is that it implies that my SP and I are not separated by distance, without me saying that my SP and I are not separated by distance. So it would mean that we are always together. We see each other all the time. You know, it also implies that we are in each other's presence. So it really does cover the basis of us being together in the same place, in the same environment and all of that. Another one could also be my SP and I live in the same city. Right? So that's another thing, or live in the same town, or to replace the old story of him not living with me. So just take the opposite. Okay, if he's not here, I'm gonna affirm that he is here, right? And then another thing that I said bugged me the most about that situation was that my SP, the communication was just off. Okay, he didn't like calling, he didn't like texting, he didn't like communicating with me. And one thing that I would say is that my SP is always calling me. He's always texting. Him and I are always in communication, morning, noon, and night. So if you want one affirmation for that, you can just say, my SP is always calling and texting me all day long, as often as you want, according to what you want. You know how you want communication from your SP, from your person, right? So you will then affirm that it is so. I liked my SP video calling me. I would also say my SP is always video calling me. Every single night before I go to bed, he's always video calling me, right? And I would affirm that instead of, sometimes I change them up. Anything that implied communication is happening between the two of us, I would like juggle between two of my favorite affirmations regarding communication, which is my SP is always video calling me, or my SP is always texting and calling me morning, noon, and night. That's what I like. Those are my go-to affirmations because they imply that communication is happening. And then another thing that also implied that my SP and I are in the same place would also be an affirmation that my other go-to affirmation would be, we spend a lot of time together. My SP and I spend a lot of time together. That's another one that also implies that obviously you can't spend time with someone, quality time, if they're not there. So you could only spend quality time with somebody if they are there. So that's how I would create my affirmation from the old story to the new one, and then I would loop on that up until my subconscious gets impressed. And whether or not my subconscious, I felt that it was impressed or it wasn't impressed, I wouldn't even know. I just had to continue to go there and to loop on those affirmations till the very end. Then when it came to my self-concept, and I just felt like, okay, it is safe to be in a relationship with my SP. It is safe to be in a relationship with my SP means that, you know what, there's nothing that my SP can do to me. It means that he treats me well. It implies, that affirmation alone implies that my SP treats me well. He does right by me all the time. Or you can say he does right by me, because my fear was that he's going to cheat, right? My SP is very faithful to me, or my SP does right by me, or it is safe to be in a relationship with my SP. That's one of my favorite go-to affirmations that I used to just like loop the whole time. And then another one that I liked the most, that I liked looping on the most, right, was that I am worthy of the highest form of love, or the highest quality of love. I am worthy of the highest quality of love, or I am so loved. I am so loved. I would actually go and loop on I am so loved. I am so loved whenever I felt like the 3D is just like showing me the opposite, or that it's too silent, or I'm not getting any movement. When I was triggered to focus, when I started being aware of the 3D and the unfavorable 3D, I would just go into either affirming for myself, I am so loved, it is safe to be in a relationship with my SP, or I would go into, depending on what I felt like receiving from my SP, I had to give it to myself in the form of affirmation. And I would say, him and I are always talking, we are always in communication, we'll spend a lot of quality time together, and we are always together. We're closer than ever, whatever it means. What those affirmations did for me was that they took away my attention from the focus that I placed on the 3D. And what I realized happened when you focus on the 3D is that you started to think of what you don't have now. It's when you focus on the 3D and you start to react to it, and then your mind will start, that negative aspect or that negative voice that's been there for forever will start to attack and tell you that, no, you see, you don't have it yet, it's not gonna happen, you crazy. I used to have all those, I had to fight it out, but I was like, you know what, I would actually have an inner dialogue with that negative voice and tell it, no, I know something new now. You know, there's new knowledge that I'm going to lean into, and it's gonna crush you. So I literally have an inner dialogue with that negative voice in my head, and I said, no, I've got this on lockdown. I'm in control, and what I affirm is what will pop up in my reality. What I affirm is going to show up, and is already showing up, and is already happening right now. So unfortunately, we have to get to that point, guys, where you have to find something that works for you, like an affirmation that you feel, you know what, this is my go-to. This is my go-to about my situation. This is my go-to about my self-concept, about my SP, about money, about whatever it is that you want, especially when you feel that you are easily triggered and when you find yourself urged, just feeling like you might just react to the 3D, go to your affirmations, your favorite affirmations, and just go and loop on them the entire time. There's nothing, unfortunately, that works better in this law of assumption, whatever manifestation journey that you're taking, other than persistence. Repeat, and do it all over again until it shows up, right? We can come up with all sorts of methods. We can come up with all sorts of stuff, the sets, the letter technique, everything, every one of them, repetition. If you are struggling with resistance, repetition is the cure. If you are struggling with resistance and limiting beliefs and all this stuff and feeling like, you know, it's not happening, repetition is definitely going to help you. So guys, these are, without going overboard, those are my favorite go-to affirmations, and I was just breaking down how I create them. Right? I create them from looking at the reality of my situation, and then after I've looked at the stuff and I've listed all the stuff that I don't like, I would then formulate the opposite of that as my go-to affirmations. I hope this really helped you. Try it for yourself. Sit down and think about your circumstance and be like, you know what, this is what I don't like, and then write the opposite of that and then affirm that on the loop. Right, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget, mentoring sessions are available. So if you need help with your manifesting journey, I'm your girl. All you have to do is just send me an email and we'll take it from there. Thank you so much, guys. I'll see you in the next video and the other side of consistency. Bye-bye.